Hello guys. Today we will see a problem in introduction to one-dimensional problems. In our previous video we have solved a basic one-dimensional problem. In this video we'll go for a complex one. We're going to apply the same FEA procedure. We will see how it is. So this is your problem. So your problem, it is an taper steel plate. So consider a taper steel plate of uniform thickness of 25 mm as shown in the figure, which has an Young's modulus E equal to 2 into 10 power 5 Newton per mm square, and density is 0.82 into 10 power minus 4 Newton per mm cube. In addition to its self weight, the plate is subjected to a point load of 100 Newton at its mid. So they have asked to calculate the global force matrix, stiffness matrix, displacement, stresses, and reaction force. So this is the figure. So it is a tapered steel plate, which in the sense it means the at each point throughout its length of 600 mm. So its width is 150 mm. So length of the plate is 600 mm. At the midpoint, that is 300 mm from this fixed region, there acts a load of 100 Newton. So this lower portion, the shortest width is 75 mm and the largest width is 150 mm. So with respect to this, we have to solve it. So since you know its FEA is already an approximate solution, this problem, when you go for a simulation software, you can solve it as such. But when it comes to the paper simplification, or when you solve this problem in a paper, you cannot solve this problem as such. You need to convert this into a simpler form. You cannot solve it as such keeping a tapered section. So what you're going to do is you're going to convert this taper into an stepped bar. This actually is not recommended in actual cases, but when we go for a paper basis, because if you consider as such at each node, for example, if you divided this into 600 element, for each element there will be variation, so you will be having a 600 element. So it is really tedious, right? But it is tedious in solving in a paper, but when you use a simulation software, it's really an easy thing. So you do this problem. So hope you understand the problem. Now we'll see how to apply the FEA procedure, which we already applied in a previous problem in a simpler problem. Now we will apply the same FEA procedure in a complex problem. So this is the first step. So what they have done is they have converted the tapered bar into a stepped bar of two sections. This is the section 1 of length 150 mm, width 150 mm and length of 300 mm, whereas your second element, they have gone with the shortest width of 75, and as usual the length will be 300. So since there acts a load at the intermediate, that is midpoint of this plate, we have divided into two elements. We have divided into two. This is 1, this is 2. This is element number 1, element number 2. They are kept as a stepped bar. So it has a constant uniform thickness. So throughout this member, thickness is constant, which is 25 mm. Now for this problem, so there is an additional step, which is an area calculation, because we are doing on some assumption. You cannot take it as such. So now you have to calculate the nodal area. First you have to calculate the area at each node, and from that you have to calculate the area of the element. Hope you are clear. So for this type of problem, where you convert an tapered bar to a stepped bar, you have to understand there is an additional area calculation. In normal problem, it is not needed. You as such, whatever is the dimension, will go with as such. But for the cases where you convert a tapered bar into one stepped bar, you have to go with an area calculation. What is that? We have two steps. First step, you have to calculate the area at each node, and once you have calculated, then with respect to the area at each node, you have to compute the area of the elements. Okay, now we will see. Now we have element 1 and element 2. Obviously you have 3 node 1, node 2, node 3. So what is the area at node 1? Area at node 1 is this is the area at node 1, so width into thickness, which gives you the area. So what is the width here? 150 into 25, you will get 3750 mm square. This is the area at node 1. Now you come to node 2. This is what the problem is. Now this node 2 belongs to both the element 1 and 2, right? This node 1, it belongs only to the element 1, you can be very sure. But when you go for an element 2, when you go for node 2, it is common for both element 1 and element 2. In this case, what you have to do? So in this, you have to consider both the width, the largest and the shortest one. See here. So you can see here they have taken the average of the width of the element 1 and element 2, which is W1 by W1 plus W3 by 2. So W1 it is 150, W3 it is 75. So what about this node 2? Then they have taken the average of 150 and 750. So that was the, if you substitute 150 plus 70 by 2 into the thickness, you will get the area at node 2. Now go for node 3. Node 3 as is simple, so it belongs only to the node 2, element 2. So you can go as such, W3 into thickness will give the area at the node 3. So now you have calculated the area at node 1, node 2, node 3. Now what's the next step? Now you have to compute the area of element 1. How you do it? Just calculate the average of these two. A1 plus A2 by 2 will gives the area of the element 1. Now how do you do it for element 2? So element 2, it has two nodes, one is 2 and 3. So you just calculate area, average of area at node 2 plus average of plus area at node 3. You just take the average, you know the so that's it. So this is the first step which you have to start. So Young's modulus, density is given, load also it is given. So this is the given data, which after this you have to go for as usual your FAA procedure. Hope you are clear. So this is the very first step. So previous step you would have straight away started the calculations of the FAA procedure. Straight away would have applied the FAA procedure, but in this problem you have to include the area calculation. Now after that it is simple as you done. So in this problem they have asked a force matrix, a stiffness matrix, a displacement matrix. It's very simple. Whatever we have done in our previous problem, force F equal to K into U, where F is the force matrix, K is the stiffness matrix, and U is the displacement matrix. So first you have to calculate the force matrix for element 1 and element 2, and then you compile, then you assemble, you will get your final force matrix of the given taper steel plate. How do you do it? So in this we will consider the density, because the problem they have given in this problem they have considered the self-weight. So hence you know the formula rho A L by 2 1 1. This is the formula for element body force for an element considering the self-weight. Density is given, area of element 1 we have calculated in the previous step, length of the element 1 is 300 mm. So as usual, before starting the problem, this is the first step in your FAA procedure. What you have to do, you have to ensure that all the given data, Young's modulus, length, width, area, density, everything, it is in a single unit system. So in this we have converted everything to the Newton and mm. So hence before start of the problem, it is very important that you have converted all the units to a particular single unit conversion. So hence, because everything is given data, density it is given, you just substitute, you will get the element of body force for the element 1 F1 F2. Yes, as usual for element 1 you have node 1 and node 2, so you will have F1 and F2. So what about element 2? So in element 2 you have node 2 1 3, so obviously rho 2 A2 L2 by 2, density is constant. So area of element 2 we would have calculated in the previous step. Substitute here, you will get the now body force for the element 2. What is the next step now? Now you have to assemble both this body force which you have calculated for element 1 and element 2. So just assemble. This is what you have assembled. When you assemble, assemble is nothing but the combining this equation 1 and 2, or just combining. So this is A11, this is A21, this is A22, 23. So if we combine it, so only is 2 is common, right? F2 is common in both this matrix, so this will be summed up. So this will 40.359 will be summing up with this 28. So that's it. So if you do it, this is your final force vector, or in other words they will call it as global force vector. Global is nothing but the assembled force vector. Now is the problem over? No. What is there? Now we have calculated the force vector considering the self weight. In addition to self weight, there is a load acting at midpoint of the taper steel point exactly at 300 mm from the fixed region and 100 Newton. So what you have to do, which is that is what you have considered here as in node 2. In node 2 only you have a load of 100 Newton. So for F2 you have to add an 100. So 100 Newton acting at node 2. So I have added 100 Newton. This is 69.18 Newton. So obviously it will become 169. This is your final global force vector. And next we will go for the displacement. So displacement, as usual, you have to use your finite element equation. Now apply finite element equation for element 1, element 2, combine this and you will get your final. So you have to do this is F, this is K into U. I've written in the just opposite way. Previous problem I would have written left hand side as an F, right hand side K into U. This is just opposite. So element 1 you have to consider the area of the element 1. Young's modulus, it is common for both the element. Length is obviously it is also common since we have divided into an half. So element 1 and element 2 its length is equal. So you just substitute and simplify, you will get this. So since Young's modulus is common for both the element, I have kept it as such. So this is your finite element equation for element 1. Now you repeat the same step for element 2. So only thing which will be changing here it is you have to consider the area of the element 2, and also there will be a change in the displacement matrix U2 U3. For element 1 it is U1 U2. Hope you know why it is. For element 1 the node which is related to element 1 is 1 and 2, that is why we have element 1 U1 U2. The node which is related to element 2 is 2 1 3, that is why we are having 2 1 3 here. Now you just keep 2.2 into 10 power 5, since Young's modulus is common, you just keep it outside and simplify this. So now you assemble these two finite element equation of element 1 and element 2 as usually we done in the previous problem. I don't think it requires and again. So if you combine, so this will be your final finite element equation. So this one 2 into 10 power 5, this 3 cross 3 matrix, this is called as global stiffness matrix. So global stiffness matrix is just after assembling for the any number of element you have. In this problem you have 2 elements. So after combining the finite element equation of the 2 element, you will get this final stiffness matrix. In case if your if your problem has 3 elements, then you have to combine the finite element equation of the 3 elements, and then you will get your final global stiffness matrix. This is your global stiffness. In this problem they have specifically asked global stiffness matrix. So after this step you have to write, it's not included here, you just write global stiffness matrix K equal to, take this matrix and write. You can check it over here. If you add any row on column, it will be 0. You just check it. I'm adding this first column, it is 0, right? First row it is 0, second obviously 0. So you can verify. You can verify once you have computed the stiffness matrix. You can verify with this step. If you are adding any row and column, if it is not equal to 0, definitely there is something that you have done some mistake. You have to rectify that. Now you go for the bound. That's it. The final step, you have to apply the boundary condition. What is the boundary condition here? Very simple. You have boundary condition here is your node 1, so 1n, so it is a cantilever, it is moreover like a cantilever taper steel plate, and node 1 it is arrested. So obviously u1 will be 0, u2 and u3 obviously you have to compute. That is your boundary condition here. Very simple. u1 is 0. So when you apply u1 is 0, you can neglect, as per the matrix law, you can neglect row 1 and column 1. So you will have this 2 cross 2 matrix. Now it is very simple. 2 equation, you just elaborate, expand this matrix, you will get 2 equations, 2 unknown. Straight away you can use your calculator and find out the value of u2. This is the 2 equation. After elaborating, expanding the previous previous matrix, you will get these 2 equations. Straight away you can use the calculator and find out the value. So your u2 is 9.04 into 10 power minus 5 mm. That is what the elongation or displacement of the node 2 because of the self weight of the plate and also a load of 100 Newton at node 2. So this is the displacement at node 3. That's it. Final step, they have asked to calculate the element stresses. So element stresses, this we have, as we see in the derivation at the start of the unit, this are the formulas. This is simple. Stress is directly proportional to strain. That is what, yeah, this is stress directly proportional to the strain. Du by dx, it is strain. So once you remove the proportionality, you will get this constant E. So E, you know, so first element u2 minus u1 will give you the change in displacement. What is the original length? Original length is L1. You know the definition of strain, right? Strain is the ratio of change in length to the original length, right? So your change in length will be u2 minus u1. So everything is known. U2 you know, u1 you know, L1 is also given, E is also constant. If you apply, simplify, you will get the value. It is 0.060 Newton per mm square. Similarly, you have to find the element stresses for the element 2. So when it comes to element 2, what will be the change? Element 2 will be related to node 2 and node 3. So final minus initial, so u3 minus u2 by original length of the element 2 is L2. All the known values substitute, straight away you get the stresses. So this is sigma 1 is the element stresses of element 1, and this is the element stresses of 2. So reaction force. So reaction force, this is the formula, K into U minus F. You can directly do it. It's very, very simple. K. So u1, u2, u3, you know, this is u2, u3, u1 is 0, K, this is your K matrix, minus F, which is your F, that is the very, very first step what you have to calculate. This is your F. So your K will be a 3 cross 3 matrix, whereas your U will be 3 cross 1 matrix. When you multiply this, you will get a 3 cross 1. F is already a 3 cross 1, so 3 cross 1 minus 3 cross 1, you will be having your final reaction force. This is your final reaction force. It will be in Newton. Hope you are clear. This is a much complex problem when compared to the previous problem, but please remember this, it is a very important problem. That's it, guys. That's it from my side. Thank you, and the next coming video will solve a much more complex problem. Thanks for watching. Please leave your feedback in the comment section so that I can improve. Thank you, guys. Take care.